I did.
We'll try.
I'll try not to. All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another Let's Talk Transformers Live. It's been a minute. I've been doing stuff and everything, but I really appreciate everybody coming in. As always, this is like a little get together where I talk with my friends and everything, and we just talk about what's hot in the topics and everything for Transformers. So today, once again, I always have a special guest with me, and I got some special guests with me from Figure Action. I got T Man 978. How are you doing, fella?
I'm doing okay, just extreme. Well, I had a nap already, so I was going to say sleepy, but I'm all right now.
You were sleeping on the bus. That's all right. That's cool. That's fine.
whenever, um, whenever I get on these lives, I wake up.
Nice, good. Well, thank you for joining me as always. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule. And once again, I always usually have this fella on. He's, both of these are really my good friends. I can't wait to see them at TFCon. I got Extra Zero with me, man. How you doing, fella?
Hey there, everybody. I'm doing pretty good. I actually also took a nap, except it was.
We are so old, man. It's just like everybody's like, yeah, we were taking naps and everything. Like, let's get on and talk about Transformers. Why not?
Exactly. It's a good way to kick off Friday. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Well, show everybody what you got, man. Extra Zero. What you got? What you got playing with, man?
Oh yeah, the jungle version of.
Yeah. I don't see anything, man. I don't see. All I saw was
he's invisible. Oh,
I saw your hand. That's all I saw, man. I know that's an old joke. I'm sorry. That was.
That's not what you're waiting on, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh man, I get my 38 Bumblebee tomorrow, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to get that guy.
I think getting that to you pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't know how, man, because I know you get one. Greg got one too, and but he says he's not getting his till next week, and I don't think you're getting yours till next week, right?
Right. Well, now you spoiled it.
Oh, my bad. Oops. Nobody's watching.
Well, no, it was.
I wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say anything. Oh, I am so sorry.
I missed it. I'm gonna have to watch the replay.
Oh well, my bad. Anyways, well, that just started off a good conversation. Good night, folks. Sorry about that. Just ruined everything. So today, where we're going to talk about, we got a few hot little topics in there. We got 2 or 3 topics we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about the Masterpiece, the Plus version. So just recently, they put out images of Smokescreen. So basically, what they're doing, MP Plus, if you don't know by now, hopefully, they're more tune accurate. I would say about that, they're more, something to do the cartoon and everything. So what I want to talk about is why is it okay that, people are complaining about, Takara doing it, but other third-party companies are doing it now, and people are taking, looking a blind eye or something like that. And not everybody, people are, complaining about the Jetfire from Fans Toys. It really wasn't an upgrade. I saw both of them together, and you really couldn't tell a difference that really, that well. So
that one also is more supposed to be like a premium paint job rather than a cartoon accurate one.
Oh, that's true. But I mean, okay, so I guess that's different, different thing what I'm talking about. But still, it wasn't that premium. When I first saw it, I was like, I really can't tell the difference. But so why do you think that, Takara is getting such a backlash of doing these things? Which, they've done this before. It's like a recolor, basically. They're just doing this. Why do you think Takara is getting such a backlash?
Because people have jumped onto years ago, people jumped onto the third party bandwagon when third parties started really putting out figures that Takara wasn't making, so they became more fans of the third party. So now that Takara told me it's changing up, that's more ammo for them to talk about Takara since they already jumped ship.
Well, I have a take on it, right? So the whole thing about Masterpiece was it was supposed to be the definitive version of the character. And when they go back and they do the character and they make it more cartoon accurate and they like take Smokescreen, even Prowl, Sideswipe, they all got upgraded faces, more cartoon paint deco, and and Wheeljack especially. For a lot of people, collectors will be like, oh, I want the new version. They'll go and sell off their old version at a cheap price. And their viewpoint is that, well, I'm pissed at Takara now because they lowered the value of my original figure that was supposed to be the definitive version of it.
Oh,
They'd be all right.
Yeah, because historically, Takara used to hold its value better than any other Transformers company in the not third party, but the Masterpiece realm.
Yeah,
That's why you buy things, because you want them and not worry about them selling. Like,
yeah,
for me,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
For me, the repaints and recolors, they don't bother me at all, because I just look at them like, oh, I don't have to buy that because I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I might care, and enough to where I'll buy another one, like, depending on if it's like a whole new mold. No, the first one I really wanted the new character was when Masterpiece Starscream finally came to Toys R Us. Like, I never found the Walmart version, which I wanted because it was a better looking color than the original green Starscream to me.
And well, Hasbro's been doing. I mean, I remember this was a big controversy when BotCon 2007 set came out. That was with the Seekers. So you got the Seekers, and they were told that these are limited. We're not going. They're not going to put them out and everything, all that good stuff. Well, a couple years later, they put them out on retail, and everybody then does. The price for their BotCon set went way down, because why would you want to spend hundreds of dollars for 3 Seekers when I can just go to Walmart and get them for $12?
Right, exactly.
Hasbro's been doing this for I don't know why people expect any less, because Hasbro and Takara's been doing this since a long time ago. So I don't know why everybody's up in arms about about the price and everything. And Larkin Blair said it. Y'all said it also, that if you're in this for the investment, you might be in the wrong investment thing to do, because toys are not really a great investment, to be honest.
I also think they put things out because they're trying to listen to the fans and help them out. Like with Wheeljack, their goal probably, or their plan for Masterpiece was probably one thing, like, okay, if we want this license, we got to make the car look exactly like the real world thing, or maybe it was their goal. They wanted it to look like the real world thing, but then when it came out, everybody was like, it's not cartoon accurate. So then they was like, you know what, let's just let this sit for a while, and then later on, let's bring out the cartoon version.
So I'm not sure who said it once. It might have been Bobby, but somebody said, there's a balance between making something the way it looked versus making it the way that you remember it looking. And it's like, now that we've got the new, like when MP10 came out, everybody was like, he looks like he just jumped off the cartoon. And now that we've got MP44 coming out, and he's super toon accurate, there's so many glaring parts of MP10 that are like, wow, this does not look like the cartoon. I don't remember the white stripes going away on the truck mode, but they did, and like Wheeljack is definitely like one of those characters that when I got him, I was like, oh, this looks just like Wheeljack. Looks like he walked off the screen. No, there's some differences there.
Yeah, you're remembering, that's like what, 20, 30 years ago. So what you thought as a kid is totally different what you're thinking now.
Yeah, I never thought that with Wheeljack. He never had all those decos and whatnot. It threw him off from. My problem is I always liked the cartoon better than the toys, and I wanted the toys to look like the cartoon. So now that they're making this change, it's no big deal for me, because it's what I wanted in the first place.
Right. And y'all mentioned about what they're trying to appeal to the fans and everything, and I think that goes with Siege. We got better paint, we got better details, we got better articulation, but they rose in price, and everybody just were like, why can't we have them for $10? So it's that kind of a mentality of you're crying to get more stuff, but you don't want to pay for the extra stuff. It's like,
and more G1 accuracy.
Yeah. Because the Siege line, I think, is one of the best lines that's been out for a while. I would say since Prime, to be honest. I mean, it's a really great line, and they're giving us what they want. Yeah, they are a little smaller and everything, but they're all around so much better than what we've been getting before. And I'm really looking forward to, some of that stuff and everything. So it's just, people are crying about toys. And it's just, it boggles my mind of like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. I mean, that's automatically.
Well, Here's one thing though to consider is that, you know, for a lot of people, you know, the fact that is that they didn't budget for it, and I'm not judging them on that, but I'm just saying that, you know, there are some people where I kind of can understand where they feel like they're being priced out of things, and that kind of makes them, you know, it's not a matter of them being poors, and not all these people are going to go and buy KOs. Some people are just probably going to flat out leave the hobby and say, yeah, I can't do this anymore. And you know, they do need to strike a balance as far as getting a quality product out and getting something that's affordable. You know, that's the argument that I've made with like some of the Masterpiece stuff. So back to the Plus stuff. The interesting thing about the Plus releases is they really don't cost all that much more, and they really don't cost all that much more than the original releases, and they still have premium decos. I've got all of them actually. I've got every single Plus release, and each one has a you know, very nice paint deco. And the only two that are really pricey are Shockwave and Megatron.
Yeah, well, they were exclusives too. Also, they were
yes, they're mall exclusive, but Prow is an exclusive, and Smokescreen's going to be a mall exclusive.
Yeah, Smokescreen is the same price as the original, and it comes with more stuff.
And
So-
it's
I'm sorry.
it's kind of curious too, right? Because if you look at the Coneheads, they were kind of Plus versions of the MP11 mold.
Yeah.
Same thing with Thundercracker and Skywarp, and they were charging in the ballpark of 200 for those.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous because they really didn't have all that much more tooling. The paint on them wasn't really that much better than Starscream, and people were kind of wondering back then, like, why? So now it's like everybody looks at the new Masterpiece line, going, "Well, it's accessories, it's tooling, it's paint."
No.
I kind of like. I
The
doubt it.
accessories are not a chart. I mean, and that's a good question. You said, you know, they might be trying to price people out, you know, collectors. Do you think that this Hound is going to price people out? Like, do you see this one selling? Do you think it's going to sell well?
I think it will sell out. Yeah.
I think it'll stick around just like the Takara Tomy Mall exclusives. The Coneheads, all of them were supposed to be exclusive, but you could still buy them. I rushed to buy them because I thought, oh, exclusive. And then 4 years later, they're still available.
Well, I was going to say, I think it will sell out certain retailers, but I don't think that it will be impossible to find it because Hound isn't exactly a premier character. Yeah, they, for better or worse, they resurrected him in the movies, but that's kind of like a by name only. But I don't think that he really has the popularity of some of the other characters. Like Optimus Prime is like the curious one because, you know, again, we're lucky to be getting ours for a little over 300, and there are some people that are paying close to 5. You know, if you do BBTS math, yeah, 450 for that plus tax plus shipping, that comes in the realm of $500.
300 is still a lot. I mean, this is
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what Takara is doing. Do you think that Takara? Do you see Masterpiece being around the next 5 years for Takara? Do you see us getting more molds, or do you think they're going to go to Beast Wars and just work with that?
I think they'll be dead.
I think it'll still be around, but I think that the way that they're doing this, like the way Masterpiece used to be, and, you know, again, even a $60-$70 deluxe size car, you know, at the time was pushing it. I was hesitant to get into Masterpiece. I got MPO1 when that came out because that was like a one-off piece. And you think about it, MPO1 was $70. And granted, that was 15 years ago. About 15 years ago, but that was $70, and that felt like a substantial purchase. Then I remember when, you know, they started coming out with Starscream, and I saw Starscream and he was green. I was like, ugh. And
that was weird.
Yeah. All the way up until they released, I think Grimlock was the next one that I actually saw on Toys R Us, and he was like, I think $60-$70. And I was thinking to myself, man, just 5 years ago, I paid that price for a figure that was this big, was mostly die-cast, had all these gimmicks. This one doesn't even have all the accessories the Japanese one had. Versus when they came out with Rodimus Prime, I actually was like, okay, this is decent. I mean, I didn't want to get the $200 set. Where was I going to store the trailer? So like their pricing's been all over the board. I don't think that they really put a lot of thought into their pricing sometimes, and that's like the U.S. market. I mean, like they were charging $60 in recent memory for Bumblebee, and then $60 for the Starscream that T was talking about earlier.
Yeah, and you know what the crazy thing is? You're talking about paying $70 for a Masterpiece figure. I paid almost $70 for that Legends Megatron from Iron Factory.
Yeah,
and that it's a different, a lot smaller. You get some nice accessories with it to make it into 4 different things, but $60 for a Legends figure.
So that's kind of like what I'm getting at, though, is like what are people willing to pay for a character? And it's like, for $70, I think Smokescreen, because people, I think the Dotson brothers are probably more popular. Obviously Prowl is going to be the most popular one, but if people were to say, oh, I'll get all 3 Dotsons, I think it's an easier sell. I mean, we've also got Smokescreen coming out, and he's supposed to be $70 as well. But so you have 2 Autobots that are kind of in the same realm as Hound, and Hound costs double. That's.
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, yes, there is more engineering in Hound. There's a higher accessory count, but I think that's what makes Takara a weird company right now. Because
is it $100 more? Is it $100 more that you're seeing? Because you're not going to use all the accessories. They're going in the box.
They're in a box, yeah.
And to mention into all that stuff, would you pay? Let's say they did a Skids. What if Takara announced a Skids and they were charging $160? I think people will lose their mind. Like, are you kidding me? Skids, one episode. I'm not paying $160.
I'll tell you what's really weird too is the Megatron, and the Megatron cost more. The Plus version, the toy version, he didn't come with any of the toy accessories. So he doesn't come with the blaster or the shield. He just comes with the extra toy face, and he's covered in chrome. He comes with less. Shockwave actually was a weird one too, because he comes with all the same accessories, but he doesn't have stickers. He has tampos, which made no sense to me because he was supposed to be the toy deco, and he's got like the appropriate tampagraphs on his forearms.
Mm-hmm. But it's a beautiful piece, isn't it? I mean,
it is. Yeah, it's a very good looking Shockwave.
But with the paint, like I got in my Iron Factory Blue Streak, the really nice metallic paint and everything, and I had chip underneath. Luckily, it was underneath the foot, so you can't see it. But with that paint job, and then a lot of people were complaining about Megatron. It was a wonderful paint job, but transforming it, it was scratched up. I mean, mine scratched up. I'm sure everybody else's is scratched up and everything. So. That's just the price you pay for getting that paint job. You want to look good, but then why are you giving me this premium paint job, and then I want to transform it back and forth? Say like Inferno had really nice paint. Like, why are you giving me all this nice paint, but then when I try to transform it, it's going to scratch up anyway? So are we just supposed to get it, put it on the shelf, and not mess with it? I know that's not anything off topic. I mean, I know I'm going off topic with that or anything, but it's weird, that they're doing that.
For me with Hound, I think they are pricing people out of the market. I'm scared that in 5 years, no toys will exist because everything's getting crazy expensive.
I don't think no toys will exist in 5 years.
They'll be hollow and McDonald's like.
I think honestly, if Takara prices themselves out of the water, third party will just have massive dominance over the hobby.
Do you think third party right now, just like Fans Toys, do you think Fans Toys is a more sought off company to get stuff from than what Takara is right now?
Yes. And I say that because with Fans Toys, they love captivating people with fear of missing out. It's like, if you don't get that first run, how long, are they going to do a second run? Look at how long it took them to reissue Jetfire. Look at how long it took them to reissue Grimlock, Sovereign. And there still hasn't been a Tesla reissue. They only did one run of Cesium. So it's like, if you don't get it on the first run, are you going to get it at all? Versus what you're talking about with Hound, it's like, this is a little expensive. I think
I can wait later. And I think Iron Factory is becoming that for Legend scale. If you miss out, like I've said several times, Starscream, he was $30. Now he's worth like $200, $250. So I think you miss out on Iron Factory stuff too. And that's a good point. Do you think that's a good way to start collecting? I mean, to collect is well, if I miss out, I'm scared that I'm going to miss out on it. But I really don't want
No,
the character. But it's just like I had to get it because it's 50 toys.
but it adds credence to what I've been saying. Is like, everybody wonders, why are they redoing Optimus? Why are they redoing Bumblebee? They'll inevitably redo Starscream and the Seekers.
Oh, I hope so.
And
Oh, I hope so.
yeah, but even with these plus versions of the characters, I thought the plus versions of the characters were a good idea because not only did they give fans a more accurate version of a character for the cartoon, but they also provide people an affordable way of getting a character like Prowl or Wheeljack, with a better deco at a reasonable price, brand new. But if you think about it too, another side effect of all this, another side effect of redoing characters, is that people, and I've done it quite a bit over the years, people will sell a figure off, and it gives you an opportunity to buy it from a fellow collector at a good price. Anybody now it's like, oh, I don't care if it's completely tune accurate, could get a red alert, a sideswipe, Wheeljack, Prowl. Blue Streak, Silver Streak, Blue Streak, Smokescreen at a good price. A lot of people sold off Lavender Wave at a good price too.
Yeah, that's true, to get the better paint job. So let me ask y'all this: MP, and we've talked about this on Shattercast also. That's a plug. MP50 is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think is going to be MP50? Who do y'all think is
Starscream?
Now, do you think it's going to be okay? I would be kind of upset if they give us a plus version because it'd be cool, I guess, but I already have one. I have Mink Toys.
Oh no,
I wouldn't even
touch it.
Yeah, I would want a whole new mold like that. I want to upgrade. They did it and everything. So what do y'all think will be 50? That's T-Man says.
I'm hoping and praying it's Blaster.
Because they did do the tapes and everything, so there was.
Yeah. And why are they doing a reissue of MP13 and not a plus version?
No, it's going to be.
They're going to retool him. They're going to retool him and send out another one of those.
It's going to be Waspinator.
I mean, Waspinator is possible.
I wouldn't put it. I think for 50 though, I think it's going to be a G1. I would love Jazz, maybe a Cliff Jumper. I think we are going to get a Cliff Jumper out of that B mold. So I'm hoping so. I think 50 would be, if Jazz was at 50, I think that would be a good thing. But more likely he would be $160 also. So I don't know. But that's a big thing coming up. I don't know. We got some Beast Wars stuff coming up, and it'd just be cool to see. Are we going to see anything at San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con for the new masterpieces? Usually overseas.
Yeah, it's all going to be overseas. What we'll probably see is stuff like the Ghostbusters, Optimus Prime, and then that'll probably be it.
Maybe the final version of MP44 because they had Masterpiece there last year, right?
Yeah, because they're selling MP44 through Entertainment Earth and Hasbro Pulse. Same thing with Bumblebee, Smokescreen. In fact, when I bought Prowl came with a slipcase that was all in English.
Oh, really?
I think. What do you think the deal is where Takara decided to start giving us these crazy prices, and then all of a sudden Hasbro and Takara teamed up on a Masterpiece release, and now we're forced to buy the stuff at that price? Do you think that Takara had some type of discussion like, hey, we're going to go crazy with these prices, so we can't have y'all competing against us with your U.S. releases?
The larger question is, why are the Amazon Japan, Ami, Nippon Yasen, why are those like 30% lower than anywhere else overseas? Like, why isn't that the base price? I always use the analogy: if you have a lemonade stand and you're selling lemonade for $2, and the next lemonade stand selling it for $5, the $2 lemonade stand is going to make more money. Plain and simple.
I used to figure that Amazon Japan was selling it without like the import fee so much, since Amazon has like the deal with the postal service.
Well, my buddy Lance, right? He can sell toys now. He's got a distributor, and he was telling me that the cost for Hound from his distributor was $100 to get it over to him in California. So. Yeah, stores have to make money, right? If that's
So
the
it's the
case,
store's fault.
no, it's not the store's fault, but the stores have to make money. So that makes sense. For Amazon to make their money and then to ship it to us overseas, that makes sense. If he's getting it for $100 from the distributor, so why can't Takara sell Hound directly for $100? I mean, sell them here domestically for $120. I think that they would have more sales if they distributed them to websites that way.
I think people were expecting him to be what Sunstreaker was 120, I think, or something.
Yeah, at the most.
So I think that's what people were expecting, and then they said 160, and everybody's like, "Oh Lord, that's a."
I don't think anything in his box is more substantial than Ratchet and Ironhide, and they're like $100. They come with a rack of accessories, way more than him. They don't have as much articulation as him, but they're bigger and they come with way more accessories, and they're only $100.
And a paint job too.
Another thing too that needs to be considered is that online retailers are really and should be Hasbro's best friend. Places like Big Bad, Chosen Prime, Agabus, anybody that sells Hasbro products, should be really key to Hasbro's future. Because I mean, let's face it, if you go into a Walmart, the aisles are picked clean. If you go into a Target, you may not find anything. You can find out swapped figures. It's not the best place to buy figures today. And I really think that Takara and Hasbro should get more involved with getting their products to online retailers at a good price, so those places can sell more. I mean, I used to buy Masterpiece through Big Bad and the Chosen Prime and Agabus. Now I only get my third-party stuff through those sites because I'm forced to go to overseas resources like Nippon-Nissan and Ami, Amazon Japan to get these figures at a reasonable price, or a more reasonable price.
I used to get them through Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Mr. Joey F. and Linda B. They asked, he asked first was, do you think we'll see an MP Galvatron? And then Linda said she can't understand why Takara doesn't do more of the MPs from season 3 because they don't have any licensing to go through. So I don't know why Takara could do, Galvatron, Cyclonus, all them Hot Rod. They did Magnus and everything, but they could do all those, and with no issues. And I think they would be
Maybe it makes more sense for them to do Beast Wars because there's no competition in that space. And, everybody, the entire movie cast has been done. So let those figures age, then come out and be like, oh, we've got a Galvatron that has, let's face it, I like fans' toys, but the alt mode for that Galvatron just does not look accurate. And, it doesn't have the best articulation in terms of the body. So let those age, and then they're no longer competition.
Well, they would destroy Ollie.
Yeah, they destroy Ollie.
Well, that's another thing is, what do you think that Takara actually looks at the third-party process for fans toys and everything and they're paying $200 for Willis. Why can't we charge, $160? Do you think that's where they're getting the pricing from?
Absolutely.
That's ridiculous. Still.
I mean, people, they're all together. We've heard rumors, third party, Takara used to be Takara, Takara people are working on third party. They all hang out, eat lunch and everything. They're, throwing ideas all the time and everything. Remember we had, the Trailbreaker Wars, the Springer Wars were still going on. It's because we all know each other and everything. So, they know what the prices are and what they can get for everything. They look at the boards and, I'm sure they do. You look at the boards and say, hey, like I said, Willis is going for 200. Man, we could charge, we're Takara. We could charge whatever we want, basically, and people are going to buy it. Ha ha ha. All that stuff. So.
I mean, I skipped out on Thundercracker and Skywarp because that $200 was ridiculous to me.
I did too. I got Starscream because just a Starscream, but I didn't get the Coneheads because I'm waiting for Make Toys. Come on, Make Toys. What are you taking so long to get your crap out?
Because they're not making toys. That's what they're doing.
What, combs or something, or
I unfortunately I got Starscream. I got Skywarp and Thundercracker and all the Coneheads, and I paid the premium for them. Thankfully, my Ramjet was fine. But it's crazy. It's crazy to think that BBTS was selling the ones with the shoulder error for $40, and then they're selling all the other ones for half price. You can go get, the corrected
something like that.
I think it was $99.
I said 100. Come on.
Oh, okay. Well,
$100.
but still, think about it. Those came out. And they were like 180 when they came out, and then now they're selling for $100.
Mm-hmm.
So how can BBTS get away with that? What was their cost? Are they just trying to unload these because they're larger boxes? They have to take up space in their warehouse. They're not selling.
They probably made their money with them, and they're like, well, we don't need this anymore. Like you said, taking up space, so let's just discount them off, and people will buy them eventually.
Right.
I bet they go down to. I mean, if they still have it in stock, I guarantee they might go down even lower, $70.
Yeah, I think Dirge might go down to 75. I think he might. I think a lot of people will grab Ramjet, but Thrust and Dirge.
Maki Toys blew them out of the water, I think.
Right. And so going back to your discussion about the Season 3 robots, maybe that's what Takara is doing. They're waiting for their opportunity to go and blow the Fans Toys stuff out of the water.
Possibility. I mean, I would love that.
Yeah. I mean, look at the Siege Springer that's coming out. That thing looks great.
And oh man, that Jetfire. I swear, if you didn't buy the Phoenix, which I had Phoenix, I think that could stand in as a masterpiece figure. That Siege one for $70 could stand in as a masterpiece. I think.
Yeah.
I think, people could. I mean, if you looked at them, like if you had them side by side and people walked in or whatever and just saw it, just took a glance at it, they would think it's like a masterpiece one. But no, it's a Siege one and everything. So they're up in their game. And to speak about that, so I mean, do y'all want to talk about the metallic paint? I mean, a lot of people, with the Fans Toys came out with some bright pictures of their mini boss Brawn and Warpath, and now Beachcomber and everything. And we had, like I said, we had another plug. We had a discussion on Sharecast. Is it could be the lighting, which Bobby says something about that. It could be. I'm hoping it's a lot lighter.
I think he's right, because if you look at Quietus and God, what was the name of their 6-shot? Those things looked far more metallic in pictures than they did in person.
Exactly. So I think we'll be fine. It was a lot of Fans Toys haters. They're out there and they're complaining about everything. So
depends on your definition of a hater.
That's true. Well, what I was trying to say is we're getting I guess it kind of ties in with the MP Plus stuff. We're getting better decals and everything. But why is it that Fans Toys does this? And then X-Transbots doing it with their Stunticons, and then who are some other ones? Fans Toys, did it with their Phoenix. So we're getting Blaster from KFC. So why is it okay to for Fans Toys to do it and everybody gripes about it, but then other third-party groups and nobody says anything hardly?
Well, Fans Toys, funny enough, wasn't the first one to do it. It was X-Transbots.
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned with Transistor. Transistor just came out and he had metallic red paint. And I think everybody thought it looked cool. And it's not even. There's really no consistency in terms of paint amongst Masterpiece official and third party. I mean, I remember when Trax came out and he was that metallic blue, and
mm-hmm.
and that kind of threw me off. And then getting Road Rage, she was not metallic red. And, Loud Pedal was a mixture of metallic and matte, or metallic and glossy. So, really there's never been any consistency. But, the same can be said about Chug. Like, if you go and look at a Chug line, it goes all over the place. If you include Thrilling 30 and Combiner Wars in the Chug, the aesthetics, they're just all over the place. It's whatever the designer wanted to do with the figure.
Yeah. I think they look at each figure as its own release. But they tried to, once MP10 came out, they tried to keep them in scale a little bit.
I think with whatever comes after Siege, I think we're going to see it. I think they're going to get rid of the battle damage. I think it. Enough fans complain about rightfully complain about the stickers in Titan's Return, and I guess they were also in Power of the Prime. Yeah, they were in Power of the Primes. Enough people complained about those, and they're gone. And I personally like the battle damage in Siege.
I do too.
But I think that Hasbro will probably go, okay, we'll get rid of it. And
they were testing the waters. Everything is not going to be a home run. You have to test stuff, and people,
Yeah, the unfortunate angle of that is that those sort of decisions, when they do something radical like stickers or battle damage, the next line you break the cohesion. So,
Well, if we can get, are we into that discussion yet?
Before we go into that one, let me ask you a real question. Do y'all like that? Do you see? Does a tank need to be shiny?
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't. But
No.
does a tank need to be purple? Does a tank need to have wings on it? And my other point too is throughout Transformers history, from G1 to Beast Wars, the only time, and the Unicron trilogy, there's never been cohesion between the lines. You look at Beast Wars Season 1, you got realistic animals. Beast Wars Season 2, you got crazy crap with like the Fusors and the vacuum
metallic
plastic. Yeah. And then Season 3, you got all the cyborg stuff with Transmetal 2s. So when you have a shelf, like you can have a Beast Wars shelf, and then if you include Beast Machines, you get all the crazy transparent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to have cohesion. So I don't necessarily understand. I do understand, and I don't understand why people are mad. I understand on one hand, people want their collection to look uniform. Like, okay, these are all cartoon representations, all done in one style. But looking at the history of the franchise, I don't think that's obtainable.
Well, if just like Beast Wars, if they made a show, which allegedly they're supposed to be doing, then people probably would complain less because, that's how he looks on the show. So let me shut up.
You know what? I shelved this one for a future talk about Transformers, but I do want to talk about whether or not you think a show would sell toys.
Oh,
because I think that.
Look what Prime did. I mean, it was a great toy line, but I think the cartoon itself put it over the top. I mean, it's one of the best, probably one of the better ones. Them and Beast Wars were probably one of the best cartoons in Transformer history, and that show really put it over the line. I mean, for the toys. So yeah, I think it would help. But yeah, we can talk about that. But the Siege thing. So T-Man, you wanted to talk about that. So you wanted to know what is going to be after, or do you think that the Siege line is going to fail after Omega and Jetfire? I don't think so. I think the Siege line is really strong. What I wanted to know is, what do you think? Do you think that we'll get more Siege stuff? Because we usually get about 5 or 6 waves.
I didn't mean like actually fail. I meant like, will it stop? I think
stop. Okay.
At the end of this year or whatever is the last wave in like October, I think they're going to move on to whatever is next.
Now, do you think that we'll see new stuff at San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con? Do you think we'll see new Siege line?
Yeah, that, and I know they're probably going to show the physical versions of the cell shaded colored Optimus and Megatron that they teased.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when do you think that we'll get? When's the next line going to be out? Probably next year?
January, more than likely, or December.
I think it'll be more like Titan's Return, where it comes in during the summer. I think Siege will continue. Summer. I think Siege will continue through the first half of next year.
Okay,
that's my personal prediction.
So how many? So we're on wave 3 right now with the deluxes and everything. So we'll probably, like I said, or you said, we'll get about 5 or 6 waves. That's usually a normal run for a toy line. So yeah, I can see. So wave 3 is just now. I mean, it's barely hitting. I think people are getting them on like Amazon and stuff, but I think somebody found them in stores. But I don't know if that was. I think maybe it was early release, or somebody accidentally put them out on what's supposed to be put out.
Yeah, because like Walmart's been leaking the stuff.
Have they? Okay. Yeah, they leaked out what the Power Ranger stuff and a bunch of other stuff, anyways. But so we'll probably get wave 4 around fallish, maybe, give or take, something like that, probably around September. Then wave 5 around the Christmas area.
I'm kind of shocked they're taking so long. I feel like Combiner Wares and all the other lines, like the waves have been out. Like I haven't even ever seen wave 3 yet.
Combiner Wars was a lot like the way Marvel Legends waves hit because it was basically you were getting like the majority of a Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
And you don't have that with Siege.
Sorry, I was talking. Eddie Powell asked who would be on board for MP Mind Wipe, or any headmasters. Would y'all be on for the Takara?
I think that's if they're going to go that far in, like they definitely need to do more Decepticons.
Yeah.
I personally would like to see an MP Devastator, but I think that they need to they focus on some of the earlier Decepticons. Reflector. I mean, now's a great time. Like, let's face it. You want to talk fans, toys, haters. The fans, toys, Insecticons, with the exception of Bombshell, are terrifying to transform. Unless you hit them with shock oil, the tolerances are
kickback.
Yeah. For most people I knew, he broke right out of the box, so they try to transform him.
Yes.
Those things don't have ab crunch. I've never transformed any of them other than Bombshell. And when I moved, I noticed that Kickback's chest was very floppy, and I had to put floor polish on it. And that's just from sitting on a shelf.
Mine was floppy out of the box.
So you think it would be a good time right now for Takara if they came in and gave us? I mean, if they showed us Insecticons, do you think the fans toys would start losing? I mean, go down in price?
I think you'd see people selling them. Yeah, I mean, you see people selling Willis right now for MP47.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think that's a good. I've never really thought about that. Takara might be waiting. A lot of people say that that the Pokemon, they lost Pokemon, and it really hurt them. But I could also see them also waiting for for all that third party stuff to go down, or later on and everything. And people are like, Takara, like you said, when Takara hits, take for granted, or for instance, TFCon, when MP36 was announced, the Megatron, that was the talk. That was the most thing talked about all weekend. Oh my God, we have a Megatron finally. And they already had, you had other, DX9, Make Toys, all them out and everything, but everybody's like, oh my God, Takara. So I think if Daddy comes home and says, I'm going to make some Insecticons, I think that would just wipe fans toys ones out.
Now, if you look at like Refractor too, it's like they're doing a Reflector in Siege, and that could be things that they're doing in Siege could be hints of things that they're potentially going to do in the Masterpiece line. Gauging interest in characters, and so it's interesting to see that they're still interested in making a Reflector, that they're still interested in making a Jetfire. And Jetfire was in all of Skyfire technically, but he was in all 2 episodes.
2, yeah. And Reflector was early on, so he was gone after half the one.
And, so he's in all but 2 episodes, and they give him this large scale $80 figure.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
Yeah, I believe that is a test. Like, remember the inside Combiner Wars packaging, and they had like the schematic of Megatron and Optimus and Bumblebee like in the background of the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they finally showed MP Megatron, MP36.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, I think we've talked it and everything, and I think we've made our point, or we just had a good little discussion, and I appreciate it. Has anybody got any questions for us? I know I've tried to read as many questions as I can. I'm sorry, but I really do appreciate everybody for coming in and everything. It makes my soul happy. It really does, man. So I love doing these things. I would like to do more. I'm gonna try to get more people on. People, hit me up, slid in my DMs and say, "Hey, man, I'll be on." I'm like, "Okay, we'll try to get you on." And so, thank you very much. But tell everybody where everybody can find y'all at. T-Man, you're internet celebrity. Where can they find you, man?
The internet. T-Man 978. Just look me up.
Yeah.
T-Man 978 with no dash.
Yeah. So, and you also do, you do a lot of toy hunts and everything, and Parts Former really does. He does most of the work for you, but that's fine. It's fine. But thank you so much for coming. I know you just got home and everything. I really appreciate that. So go home and go take a shower or something, whatever you got to do. I'm Deluxe. I'll be back. I'm almost done. That's my wife. Sorry, Delisa. And Extra Zero, man, where can I find you, man?
So yeah, you guys can find me every night, not every night, but every Thursday night on the Figure Action channel at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time with T-Man and 3 other very fine co-hosts. And of course, you can find me on Instagram as Extra Zero. You can find me on Twitter as The Original Zero, or at The Original Zero. And whenever you invite me onto these things, I'll be more than glad to come on.
Dude, I'll invite you every time, man. How about anybody? We'll have. I'll get some more people. We'll get a discussion. We can just interrupt everything. We'll just talk all through everybody and everything. But anyway, yeah, like I said, thank y'all for so much. And once again, thank y'all so much for coming in. Go down and hit them like, shares, prayers, and Care Bears as always. More likely, you're probably sub to me. So if you're watching this, but if you haven't, go down there and sub for me. I really appreciate it. I'm almost
sub to Deluxe.
And hit that notification bell so you can see when other content like this goes live.
And pick all notifications, not personalized.
And go sub to T-Man, dude. He's got some good stuff. Like I was kidding. He does a lot of toy hunts, and they're really awesome and everything. So for some reason, he finds something all the time. I don't know. Just luck of the draw. But
I plant them there.
Exactly. You probably go find them, and you're like, "Oh, we gotta record this one." Thank y'all very much once again. If you like I said, if y'all do want to come on one of these, or hit me up for around 30 minutes. It's been a while since I've done one. If you want to come on around 30 minutes and do a little interview kind of thing, definitely hit me up, and we'll try to figure out the time and everything. So I guess that will be it. I guess I'll see you on the next Talk Transformers Live. And as always, be good to yourself. Hail Hasbro, and good night, folks.
See y'all.
All right.